Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. Everyone who watches the show regularly, and I'm sure that the people who stuck till this point of this episode are the ones who watch it regularly. Everyone knows that I'm low-key an emotional guy.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of emotions going on inside which I've blocked out for the sake of business and my career in general. I've had like two very intense situations after my career had begun, and both were not related to my career. They were breakups I had along the journey, and I was in a very terrible state of pain. And those were the phases which also led to a lot of material growth, but more importantly, a lot of spiritual growth, because I personally feel that pain, especially after a breakup, is simply love that doesn't know where to go. And the moment you have this realization, you realize that, okay, what if I direct that love to God? Even if you have that little openness towards prayer, your prayer becomes more ferocious when you're able to pour your pain into the prayer.
Yeah.
When you're able to pour your emotions into the prayer, because I personally feel that both pain and love come out of the same place, which is your emotional body in some ways.
Yeah.
But simply this practice, one, helps you heal that material pain that you're going through. And I truly believe even love is material, but emotions are not. And not only does it heal your material pain, it also helps you go way deeper into your relationship with your deity or your God. When you're able to submit your pain completely to the deity. And you know what? I'll go as far as saying that I've struggled with being single in my life because I tend to get lonely, and because of just, I don't know, earlier that's how I looked at life, that I always wanted a partner. But the moment I realized that, hold on, the single life allows me to give more time to my deity or my God, that's when my relationship with the divine increased much more quickly. It became much deeper. It kind of made me realize, and this is something a lot of Shiva bhakts would say, it kind of made me realize the isolation of the mind when your mind and your heart are truly in the process of praying to Shiva. I don't know if you would feel the same, but my relationship with Shiva has increased so deeply over the last few years that, one, I feel very calm, and that allows me to traverse through life. But secondly, I really, really enjoy being alone. Like, I really enjoy my solitude. And now I'm able to pour what I used to think of as loneliness. I used to look at it in a negative way. Now I look at it positively, and I pour that loneliness into my God. It made me think that love as a human need is actually not romantic, but it's spiritual. You have the capacity to love. You think you want a girlfriend or a boyfriend, but that love exists within you to give to God. Lots of people won't agree. And I'm not discouraging the idea of marriage or romance. I'm just trying to encourage the idea that when you're single and you have all that excess love to give, go and give it to God.
Yeah.
Makes life much easier.
Yeah. So I have a similar take in some sense that yes, you are a ball of energy. Humans are balls of energies, and wherever you invest that energy is what comes to your life. So if you're investing it only on one aspect, maybe your married life or maybe your relationship, then the only return you can expect is going to be from that front. You can't expect God to come closer to you when your only 100% of your energy is going to a certain direction. But the beauty of the mind is it can, segregate and absolutely divide and conquer. So I think the most important practice for one to do, and I might be wrong, is for them to be able to balance their spiritual and the personal life, because there is ashrams that you go through. In the first phase of life, you go through the brahmachari ashram, where your focus should only be on the brahmacharya, meaning Brahma's attaining the Brahma. Brahma means Gyan. So any form of, education, any form of understanding of, religion, understanding of spirituality, understanding of basic practices should be when you're in the brahmacharya ashram. After that, you transcend into the grihasthi ashram, because in the grihasthi ashram is where you should be, or else you'll fail. You should be able to balance the spiritual and the grihasthi, meaning your family life, right? And then ultimately is when you do the vanprastha, Vanprastha is when you leave everything behind, when you renunciate everything and go solely to Shiva. So if something is happening where the balances are jumbled up, you're doing something wrong, right? For example, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. It's never moksha, artha, dharma, kama. There is always a reason things fall into a certain way, right? The dharma is the number one thing. Virtue, English, if you translate it to direct English, it's virtue. Dharma is virtue. But if you go deeper, it's your responsibility. As a child, your responsibility, your dharma is to study, is to educate yourself. As a businessman, your dharma is to make profit and sustain your team. As a mother, your dharma is to, take care of your children and balance your life as well. A father's dharma is to take care of your children. Father, do your father responsibilities as well. So if someone is getting disaligned with the dharma, some kind of wrong practice they are practicing. Okay. Similarly, after dharma comes the artha, because whatever you're doing as your dharma, that needs to be meaningful to you. Artha in basic Nepali or Sanskrit is meaning, nothing deeper than that. So your responsibility should be meaningful, give you some kind of meaning. And if this is happening, if you're doing what you're supposed to do at the right time, that is what it says as right time in the right place. That's basic dharma is what the person is doing. And then you can see the arthik growth. Arthik growth is not only sense of material fulfillment, but the emotional fulfillment of being happy with what you're doing. After that, happy is kama. And ultimately, once you're in that state, you are finally able to go to the mukti phase. And mukti does not only happen when you're about to die. It happens while you're alive. Mukti is end of a cycle. Everything in life is a cycle. Your loneliness or you being without someone is a cycle. For that, you need to follow the basic principle of the four. Get out of it. The mukti will lead you into a next cycle in life. Maybe that is of a married life. That again is a cycle. It starts with dharma. What are your responsibilities as a married person? Then it will start giving you meaning. Then you'll be satisfied and you'll ultimately seek for the next step, which you attain mukti from. Then you follow the next step. So life is chakra. Life is a wheel, right? It all comes back. It all comes back and then it keeps moving until the day you die. And even after that, according to Sanatana Dharma, if it balances out, right? If your karmas are not to the fullest extent of being able to renunciate everything and attain mukti, you come back to this world again. Based on your prenatal karma, which is the karma of the past life, the soul chooses the body and the family where it's born. So our karma today, the cycles that we go through today, is not only for this life, but the life after this, right? Because where you're born is being decided as you do your karmas today. And if you're born is also being decided. So this cycle transcends life. And this cycle goes on. And one of the beauties of Rudraksha, I'm sorry I'm adding Rudraksha here,
It's fine.
but the beauty of Rudraksha and the reason Rudraksha is used in across all spiritual practices is it's the only thing that can rectify your karmic debt. You attain karmic debt in everything and anything you do. In Kali Yuga, even more. The piece of bread that you eat in the morning, you don't know how it's coming out. You don't know the people who have been disappointed or disfavored or been, treated unfairly while that single piece of bread is produced. I'm giving an example of a bread because I'm assuming most of the people have bread in the morning. But you can go deeper into everything and you accumulate a lot of karmic debt. For people who understand this concept of karmic debt, the single purpose of life starts to begin is to balance it out, is to do good karmas, to do good more than bad. You're always trying to balance it. And Rudraksha is a tool that helps you balance it. It's said that even through a sight of Rudraksha, which is seeing, you can't comprehend how is that possible. The karma is being done in the material. How is my sight or looking at Rudraksha going to purify everything? But there is only a chosen few. Out of 8 billion people, how many people do you think are going to tune into this show and be able to see the Rudraksha? For people who are already seeing it, it's very common. How can it be? But for people who have never seen a Rudraksha, there are a lot of those as well. So to purify your karmic debt, take you out of this cycle and take you to the place where you truly belong and truly be able to express yourself. Rudrakshas and tool like that, like you said, mantras upasana, tantra upasana, and yantra upasanas are extraordinarily vital.
Do you think as you wear it and you chant mantras, the energy of the Rudraksha also changes?
I don't think I know it changes because it's mentioned, it's written in our scriptures that chanting with Rudraksha has almost koti, meaning crores worth more benefit and more power than chanting without one. Because, like I said, while you chant mantra, each mantra has a certain vibration and energy that you are, putting out in the universe. And once you said you are doing certain amount of upasana. The reason is you want to, let's imagine you're building a stair to the deity that you're trying to reach. With every mantra, you're reaching closer to the deity, right? You're sending the sound, sending the frequency. You're trying to awaken the deity, and you just want the deity to glance at you once. That's enough for you to realize, for the deity to recognize that Ranveer exists is the only thing that you are trying to achieve with the mantra sadhana, right? Rudraksha is the stairway to that stair. It's the common practice. You're taking an elevator. So that is mentioned, and this is not my philosophy that I'm trying to put out here. This is what our dharma, our Sanatana Dharma says.
Hey, if you enjoyed this clip from The Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.